I know. Yeah, that would be nice, man.
Haha, yes, that would be nice. And you have a place to stay or to connect with if you're ever up here in
Mhm.
BC. So, for those who are going to be watching and chiming in to this show, all I can say is I wasn't going to go live at all. We were having so much fun in the studio that we were just going to maybe say, yeah, fuck them out there. They can wonder
Mhm.
what we're talking about.
Right?
So I was super stoked for this show. I've had each of you on the show separately in the past. Maybe looking, some time has passed, whatnot. So I had the brainchild of saying, I want to get these two very, very cool cats back on the show together because I know that dynamic is just going to be like, just awesome. So I appreciate your time. And for the viewers, again, On the Cusp is a show that's unabashed, man. It's honest, it's candid. It's, we're really trying to just share life experiences and, in all areas. It's personal, professional, spiritual, you name it. And it's just an organic show. It just, grows from there.
Yeah.
And we pick themes and, today, we just kept it simple, chasing our passions. And for those who are watching, we have Roger Casanova of Casanova USA, who's there. You see there with his hustle hard. We'll be learning and talking more about that. Roger has made 4 logos for me, and all just brilliant logos, and working on another very special project, which is I asked Roger if he would be so kind to design the cover of my book that I'm writing, looking to finish the draft by the end of June. So that's super exciting for me. And we have the only Ronny,
Producer.
here on the show. So
he's so good looking, man. Both you boys are so good looking, man. I'm jealous, man.
I'm gonna get to that in a second. About the good looks is so this is gonna be so good. So the show again is really just inspiration, motivation, providing tools and insights to people, and walking away with some nuggets that potentially people can apply to their own lives, right? Good vibes only, fire, fuck all y'all. Talk a little bit more about that when we get maybe into some branding. But the part that I wanted to talk about, well, first to back up is I was visualizing doing the show. We have Roger, who's in Austin, Texas. We have Ronny, who's in Chicago, Illinois. Yep. And I almost feel like I should be like a news anchor saying, so Roger, what's the weather like down there in Austin right now?
And I tell you what, it is beautiful today. I was just telling my wife, I said, it's amazing how we go from this storm to like apocalyptic, trees falling on the streets. I mean, it's bad. It was bad news, guys, a couple of days ago for Texas anyways. All right.
Yeah.
But then today, the birds are out. It's like almost 70 degrees, and we're just freezing our asses off earlier this week. Yeah. Some people without electricity because lines were falling from the weight of the ice on the lines. And I mean, it was bad news, man. But the weather is really good today. It's been good these past couple of days, so we got out of that mess. So.
Good. Yeah, the extreme swings are definitely noticeable with Mother Nature these days. So, and what about you, Ronny? What are the conditions like in your neck of the woods?
Well, for us, like relatively speaking, for Chicago is good. It's probably like in the 40s today. We're like teetering on almost 50, but just like Roger, we had a cold snap, but a cold snap for us is like it's normal. But but overall, it's been a mild winter. All of January has been like mid 40s almost every day, except that last week when we had the cold snap is the same as Texas. Yeah. And today is probably like 45 degrees, which is like
mild. That's warm.
That's mild
for us. For you guys.
Yeah. When you don't have to run in a car, or you hate going to the car when you go out, that's a win-win for that day. So for us. I'll take it.
So
40s, man. He's calling that warm, and in here 40s, we get 40s.
Man, you guys get 40 down there. It's a lot. It's shut down.
Yeah, it's bad.
Roger, welcome to Canada.
No, and this dude over here. Hey, Ron, this dude over here getting up at 2:00 in the morning with his German Shepherds.
2:00.
And he's got a smile on his face. He's got a smile on his face like he's out there in the afternoon, man. This guy's sick.
There's truth to that, Roger. Those monsters need their morning coffee. So
no.
Going,
I got two, and they stay in that damn crate till I'm ready.
I know. Steph chill out in the cold like it's 70 degrees, man. Look.
Yeah.
It's quite different.
I wish I was built like that. You know.
So Roger, you made a comment about good looks, and I had made myself a note here, just thinking about you guys, like a couple of like seriously like absolutely handsome motherfucking dudes, man.
Yeah.
It's almost like I should have DJ Khaled in the background playing some Prince. You sexy motherfucker.
That's it.
And speaking of, I have Prince's mugshot right there. That's my coaster, right? So there's
that's
the love for Prince, right?
I like
that right there.
Man, I tell you what. See, now you got me. My feels all over the Prince, and I'm thinking of all the songs and everything. God dang it.
Yeah, man, that was entirely for you, brother. So like we're in it. Like let's roll up our sleeves, and we talked about chasing our passions, and now I do have some stuff to share, pictures when it's kind of like the timing's good on it. I don't know who wants to lead out first out of the gates to kind of just start peeling the onion on the importance of chasing your passion, what comes of that, what are the fruits of those labors, maybe some of like the obstacles and the challenges, and how maybe you had to retool yourself, taking a different approach when things weren't just working out, and just get fucking passionate here. So anybody can have at it.
Go for it, Ron. Go for it, man.
Man,
you got on the stove, man.
Man, I would probably say I've been doing what I've been doing for the longest, as long as you guys knew me for these few years. But the approaches have been different this past year. I put myself on a mindset, and I actually posted it to attract, not chase. I think that's way important in order to pursue what you need to pursue. Because if you chase and don't attract, I think you lose focus on what you like truly enjoy doing. And the other main thing that I actually made sure I focused on this past year and this coming year is doing tutorials, man. Just like showing people why I love that, what I do. I think if people see that, and I think if people see your authentic self, people gravitate towards it. It's the tutorials. It's the giving access to my sessions when I'm working with people. It's really just putting myself out there, fortifying my brand. Positive things happen because of that. I got nominated I'm currently nominated for Producer of the Year for the 312 Awards in Chicago. So I'll find out.
Congratulations.
Hopefully,
man.
Thank you. Hopefully, I'll find out on March 12th.
Right.
That if I won or not. Yeah, definitely keep you guys posted. So that's truly an honor to be recognized by your area, by the things you do, by the hard work you put in. And I've been doing this since 2002, but I've always been a musician. I've always been a guitar player, but this production thing I've been doing since 2002, man. It's just been trial and error. I was bad at it until I got really good at it. You got to start, because I love it so much. I kept going. I let the mistakes wash over me and got better. Pretty much.
I want to expand on something you said that I like, about not just chasing but attracting. That's powerful for me. I connected that resonates. And we talk about trying different things, but especially your tutorial. You kind of said, hey, I'm going to start putting my work out there and what I do and how I do it. There's a lot of success that comes with that, but not a lot of people are savvy that way, because most people feel like they got to hoard and keep and protect everything that they do. If I show too much how I do stuff, then people are not going to need me. I'm going to go to an extinction, right? Because I remember something you said on our show together is, we talked about the technology, and anybody can really, teach themselves today and become a producer. But I mean, I question anybody. But anyway, that's very interesting about your tutorials. I saw them and it's cool.
I get a lot of people who DM me and inbox me, and they tell me they appreciate the way I don't gatekeep. But that's never been my intention, because it's
Ron.
To me,
Ron, they appreciate the way you don't get cute.
There you go.
Well, I missed it. No.
They say they appreciate the way I don't. They say I don't gatekeep.
Gatekeep.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm
okay.
sorry. I thought
I should just shut my fucking mouth, man.
You know,
I should just shut my mouth.
I got you.
Okay.
No, they say that I don't, that I don't gatekeep, and I never came into a situation. I never had that approach, because it's bullshit. Because how can you gatekeep something that's already out there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's creative flow too, right?
Yeah, it's creative flow. The technology's there. You just have to learn it and do it. It's it's really nothing. It's nothing to gatekeep. And I try to make sure I have a positive, as far as when I present myself, I try not to brag on things that you have. I see a lot of people who do what I do. They post content on production and things like that, and all of the content is focused on what they have, what they use, and it's not really important how much they paid for it. But quite honestly, I tell people, I'm like, man, you just need a laptop, audio interface, and a mic. You really don't have to be. It doesn't have to be fancy at all. It's not a. It's just how you go about it. It doesn't matter what DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, you use. You can. I heard some shit in GarageBand that just slaps from people.
Yeah.
True. And I think if more people from an art form focus on or utilize what they have, and instead of focusing on what they don't have.
This is true.
The art, everybody will go next level, man. I hate seeing it. The other day I saw a guy, he's in the studio, he's got a lot of outboard gear, he's paying like $2,000-$3,000 for compressors and a lot of outboard stuff. Like this stuff back here, man, it's a workstation, but I got very minimal. I try to keep it simple and clean.
And to throw another picture up, seeing as we're talking about you, and maybe I'm self-medicating too much these days, and I could be way off here. But when I look at your pictures with you at work, Ronny, you're a different man.
Yeah,
there's a very different feel and essence to you that I go, one, you're fucking badass.
Right.
And, you're badass, and you can tell that you are in it, like you are so immersed into your craft and what you're doing, and that's just something
I agree.
People can't fix, all right? So, and here's another one while we're at it, right? It's like you see it. Like I say, you're a different man, and that's getting to see, you at work. So I love it. I love what I feel from you.
And that's what I like. I like to see that though, because that's what I see in him also though, Steph, is that I mean, he doesn't take himself so serious.
You can't.
But yet it just happens naturally, right? It just happens naturally. Yeah. And that's what sets some people off differently from others, is that, you can say, no, I'm not this, I'm not that, but really you are, I mean, it's there.
It's been instilled in me. My mom always made me stay humble, because it's always something to learn, man. Because if you think you learned everything, why are you here? Why are you doing this? I learn something every single day.
Every day. I think we can all agree.
I hear songs that I produced, it's out there, it's mixed and everything is out in the universe. And I'm gonna tell you, I still hear something like, oh, I could have did this better. I could have did that. But that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because it makes me get better, Yes.
Yeah. And to that, Ronny, I can say that I think that is the curse of being a creative. Yeah. Is that you always right? And Steph, I know Steph, he knows what I'm talking about as well. He knows you see something, I could have tweaked it here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could have done that. But that is the curse of being a creative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that you can one up yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll never get there though, man. You'll never get there.
You will never get there.
100%.
Never ever.
I wonder, because we're talking about, always learning and open your minds, and also the ability to admit when you're wrong. So this is a quote out of one of the books I posted on Facebook a few days ago. But the problem with being wrong is that before you know you were wrong, it feels like it feels exactly like being right.
Mm-hmm.
Until until you know you're wrong, it feels exactly like being right.
That part.
That's right.
Yeah.
That part. Yeah. Exactly right, man.
And I'm open to being wrong. I have no issues with it. I welcome it. I welcome it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
The other main thing that I made sure that I stopped doing, and I stopped doing it years ago, asking for opinions from people.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yep. That's exactly right.
It's I don't ask anybody's opinion about this music, what I do, how I approach it, nothing, because you have to take in consideration when people are looking at what you're doing and they're not commenting, they're not saying anything, but they see you, and those opinions may not come from a good place.
True. That's true.
And people will throw off their insecurities onto you. Yeah. So you better, you have to be careful on who you ask opinions on certain things. You guys, I'll know, if I wanted to ask an opinion, I'll,
you'll get honest.
I know. Right. Yeah. You'll get honest instead of just, because what we do, man, art is subjective. It's subjective.
Yes.
And that's another reason why you got to be careful on it, because it's subjective. So you have to, when you ask an opinion about something or what you're doing, you have to put it in perspective. It's like, okay, I appreciate that opinion. You got to take little bits and pieces, but you can't take it to heart.
That's the beauty of it.
What I mean?
Amen. Yeah. And there's an example of that, because there was a time where, I feel humbled now because I feel the same. I'm a hard ass about the opinion thing too. Is you had reached out to me. You were working, I forget the artist, and you were working on some music for her, and then I think I sampled some of the music on iTunes or whatever, and then you sent me a couple. What do you think? And then I'm like, well, okay, that's cool. He's asking me. That's awesome. And I remember saying, I said, I loved the vibe, and it had a Tony Braxton feel to music, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I could be saying Tony Braxton when it's really Frank Sinatra, right? But the fact that you opened yourself up and to ask me, what I thought was kind of cool, right? And you're
it's well thought out. I'm really careful who I open myself up with.
But the other thing too, though, that's exactly right. No, that's right. But the other thing too, though, is that he may get some value out of what you have to tell him, though, right, Ron?
Exactly.
I mean, whatever it is, whether it's what he didn't want to hear or not, though, but he may get some value out of it, and that's exactly why he's asking you, though, because number one, he does trust you. Yeah. Whether it's the right answer or the wrong or the right whatever, he's not worried about that. But I think getting some feedback from someone who's going to be honest is good.
Yeah, amen to that. I liken it to almost, if I were to, hey, you have a good graphic artist, somebody you can refer. Fuck yeah, man, all day long. At Roger Casanova.
Man, come on.
Right? Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. It's a stretch of, somebody using the music and producing. And that's because of your very strong personal professional brand and what I've seen. It's not what you see, it's what you do, it's what you exhibit, right? So I equate it to that. It's like, I can refer somebody to someone without getting egg on my face. It's the same thing. It's like, you guys you're very good and awesome at your crafts, true professionals, and you collaborate very closely with your people. It's not my way or the highway scenario. So there's few people that would be like, hey, do you want to take a look at this? Like, i.e. my book.
Yeah. Yes.
That is literally my.
I can't wait for that too, though.
Project. Yeah, you want to hear candid, man. It's fucking candid.
Absolutely.
So I feel you on that. And back to passion and everything we're talking about. There's another slide here related to music, and you can just kind of just keep going between, branding and merchandise and everything else. And this one here.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to tell you more about me than I ever will. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And when I saw that, I said that's kind of perfect for this show. Yeah. Because like Roger, he's a Prince nut. I'm a Prince nut, right? We talk about.
Sometimes I think Prince is my daddy.
Oh yeah.
You wish he was your daddy. I wish he was my daddy.
You know what? High school, man, that Prince was life.
Yes.
That was it. Prince was life. Not the Purple Rain when he had Around the World in a Day, Parade. Yep. That shit came out mid 80s, early 90s, you know, Sign of the Times. Come on now.
See, Steph messed up when he brought up Prince, because I remember watching him on American Bandstand. His first song was I Want to Be Your Lover.
Your Lover.
He came out in those damn gold tight ass pants.
Yeah.
And his hair was all straightened out and everything. Like, who is this? Who is this girl?
Yeah. You're like, I'm not sure what to, you know, and talking about Prince, I remember you posted the video on that. And the thing, and this is through my lens, and the thing that I enjoy so much about Prince outside of his music and just, I mean, the scores of music, and I'll tell you something really cool, Ronnie, in a second, is him coming out and you're going, wow, this guy's very, very feminine, like looking, right? And the whole thing and whatnot. But you want to talk about one of the manliest dudes.
The manliest dudes.
That's packaged that way. I mean, the guy is sexy. He oozes sexiness, right?
Man. And he had more women than a gynecologist practice. Crazy.
Fact.
You know,
that's fact.
Like, seriously.
Hey, listen. But here's the thing that really I think I admired about him, about the artist, was that he did, again, like what Ronnie's saying, you know, he did what he wanted to do.
He did what
he wanted to do. From top to bottom.
Everybody else.
Heels. He didn't give a shit what anyone had to say.
Yeah.
This dude was 5'2" or 5'3", they say.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But he was a fucking monster, man. He was a monster in the creative process. Yeah. You know,
he didn't sound like everyone else.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. That's basically that's my approach. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. That's why I'm multi-genre. You know, I can do pop, I can do R&B.
Yes,
it's I think I do what I do, and especially like with the tutorial aspect, going back to that for a second, because I think people need to see me as an African American doing those things and showing people those things.
That's right.
I think it's important to have that that presence, and to let people know, you know, it's easy. You just have to do it.
I'll tell you what,
and not discourage people. That's later.
Here comes trouble now, man. I forgot.
And that's Ronnie that said that. Steph Ronnie that said that.
So, we get good comments and post comments, and we welcome them. It's awesome, right? And that's
yes, sir.
To the show.
But you know what? Hey, but back to what Ronnie was saying too, though, is that also because in music, I so despise the fact that we've gotten away from real music. You know, having the beats, having the rappers, the rap industry, hip hop. I mean, I grew up on that stuff too. To an old man loving that stuff. All right. Yeah. But the thing is, we've gotten so much into that these days that our youth has pulled us away. The business, the industry has pulled us away from what real music is. Mm-hmm. You know,
well, everything's cookie cutter.
Yeah, when you had the Marvin Gayes, when you had the Sam Cookes, when you had the Spinners, when you had Dean Martin, you had they say Elvis Presley stole some stuff, but the thing is, the guy he was still making music though. I mean, real music, putting some real good stuff.
He was still making music. Yeah.
And so you guys, you're nailing exactly what the show is about. Passion. Back to Prince, right? You said he was a monster, but I mean, that way he was packaged, but his passion came through, and how he moved, how he played, everything is his music writing. And then you were speaking about, music today's cookie cutter, and there it is, gentlemen. There it is. There's no passion in that creative process anymore. In fact, there's no creativity anymore. The passion,
there's nobody challenging themselves. I guess to be fair, I'm gonna say this: back in the days of Marvin Gaye, all the soul crooners back in the day, I think people older than them will probably say they can't say it was cookie cutter. R&B was R&B. Music was lyrically meant something, but everybody had a different niche, and it wasn't cookie cutter. Everybody made sure they stood out to be different, and it's not a lot of people that really stand out to be different these days, man. it's the same, like as far as like your sound, I think that's what makes like, as far as me being a producer, it's like your ingredients that you use, the drums that you use, melodies that you use. It's your sound. So I try not to have everything sounding the same all the time, and I can approach a song, or I can just come into the studio that day. Like today, I can, I don't sit up and say, yeah, I want to make a rap track. It's whatever it hits me, man. If it's a rock song, like if I hear something that inspires me, whether it's a rock riff, whether it's a R&B riff, whether it's a blues riff, I just go with it. And inspiration comes from anywhere.
That's right.
That's what people had to realize that, man. And I don't mean to go off a tangent. Then we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about Mr. Casanova. But and I really wanted to say this. A week ago, I saw a TikTok on with Timbaland. And Timbaland, which awesome. I want to preface it by saying this, man. Dude is like,
right.
Dude is like upper echelon, but he has a platform. But what he said kind of like got under my skin, because he said the DAW you use, like Logic, Pro Tools, whatever. He's like, man, I just don't like Logic. It's not this and blah blah blah. You have to look it up and read it. But I'm like, man, you just took some kid that just started, who spent money on their Mac, got Logic. Right. And you're gonna have them go and spend they spent like $200 on Logic. You're gonna have them go spend like $800 on Ableton, which they don't have to. Right. You know what I mean? Music is music. It's not what you using. Yeah. It's how you project yourself and how you do it. Right. And I think it's way important on how you use your platform. Yeah. Yeah, and how you inspire people. You can inspire people two different ways, man. You can inspire them just to keep doing what they're doing. You can inspire them to second guess their stuff and spend some more money they don't have to.
And that's funny though, because I've never, again with us three here, I've not known any of us to be that way. And I know myself, I've never said, I don't use this anymore because it's just trash. I mean, but when like you said, right? You said it earlier, use what you've got.
Use what you got. You ain't got about nothing.
We seen dudes on TV beating tin cans, and now someone's sampling a tin can, and they've got it on their track, right? Yeah. So, like I said, you can't go discounting the simple parts of life and the creative process.
You can't. You just get that simple software. Yeah. And the things that they have in the simple software, you can mix your song, and you'll swear to God that you went into a big studio. I see people that go on their social media. They're in big studios, flossing, and I'm in studio, blah blah blah. The 30-track SSL console, they there. But when you hear the song, it's like,
yes.
So you didn't pay for the mixing.
And that's a great message, Ronnie. Right? And it's like. Don't tear down people, just don't take the wind out of their sails just because it's not your cup of tea, right? And I like the way you ended off on, like, you could have all this equipment, this tech, and millions of dollars, and just still pump out fucking garbage. But and just listening to the three of us kind of go back and forth, ebbing and flowing, is like we're seriously a bunch of gearboxes, and I mean that in a good way. Gearboxes. These we're always thinking, right? We're always thinking. We're always crunching, doing some mental math and our creative process, and like you said, always trying to get better, and always trying to, even with the show. And I swear to God, man, if they could tap into the three of us' energy, I swear, or the wattage output from the three of us would power Las Vegas. I fucking guarantee you that. Yes. And that's awesome being surrounded by men like you, man. It really puts wind in my sails. So we could do a little bit of a segue into Mr. Casanova and talking about some passion, music, and we'll just keep going back and forth. So let's see, where do I want to start? Well, we'll start with your handsome mug. How about that?
I don't know about that. Look at that.
Yeah. Prince's baby for sure, buddy. Prince's baby for sure. And
man, that's the Latin sexiness right there.
Yeah, whatever, man. Come on. All right, guys, I gotta go. It's time for me to go.
Okay. So now that I'm blushing, I'm gonna pull that down. So what you saw there was one of Roster's hats. What you see there is this hustle hard
That's it, man.
Logo brand. He's got several different brands, and we talked about that. But I think now I'll let you speak. So I mean, there's a lot of passion in that, and I've witnessed, because I watch, on Facebook you've got friends and you got brothers, and you watch your brothers really close, because you get something out of seeing what they're doing, and you smile and you go, yeah, man, okay, I'm gonna go work on another chapter of my book, right? Because Roger's just put out some new cool shit, and you have it, and you hit it hard. And I noticed a huge difference in not only your branding but your merchandise in the last 6 months or so. And I'd like to hear more about the passion that went into that, because I know that that's an investment.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It's investment is right. First of all, I'd say you guys are my boys, man. I tell you what, I've had friends and stuff like that. It's just funny how we're just in different paths, different places, Here you're across you're where am I at, man? Anyhow, Steph, you're across. I'm trying to get this, but I can't. There it is, right there. You're across the border. And
way above you.
Forget it, man. I still keep it, and Ronnie's over in Chi-town. Okay, yeah. And here I am in Texas, and we've got this real close knit bond, man. And I'm really proud of it and really happy about it. But yeah, it's funny though, because you guys have seen the process change as we've known. You guys have seen things, come along, and I know you have. And I feel things have gotten better a year later. I think this year started off the end of last year, and this year looks pretty good. Things have picked up, but yeah, it's I teeter between keeping my job on the side that I go to. I do security work, you guys know, and retired from the sheriff's office and stuff like that, though. But it's just funny how the two don't mix. Yeah, they don't mix, right? But it's a long story. But you really have to understand as to how someone else like myself can do that, because I had to use some creative process in doing work, working with law enforcement and stuff like that, So it's just funny because now I actually get to use my creative process to do what I really truly love, which is this, and Hustle Hard being my flagship brand right now. And some of you guys already know I tried pushing out some of the other stuff like Rovo and Faith and Fortune. There you go. And I got Ronnie's logo. I got Steph's logos, man. And so, like I said, you guys, it has to be for the right people too, Yeah. I mean, you guys are pushing your brand, man. And I think that's part of that. Like I said, part of the creative process and trying to, I guess, one up your game is that you can have this logo, you can have the brand, but if you ain't doing anything with it,
right, yeah,
it's really nothing, right?
Absolutely.
Really
and that ties into really what you're Ronnie, the hustle hard.
Yeah,
you like seeing other people hustle. So do I. Nothing gets me off more than seeing people succeed. Really, it's the most beautiful thing to see, man. But because you know what went into that success or those successes, right? It's that hustle hard. We're talking.
Yes,
Ronnie, I think you had something to say there. I mean,
no, I was gonna say, I've seen when I see Hustle Hard now from when I first met Roger. This was like, what has it been, like 3-4 years, Roger? Yeah, it's got to be about 3-4 years. Yeah. I've seen the progression. Yeah. And I got a big kick out of seeing the progression. When I see that logo on your head, I know it's you. You solidified your brand. And I don't even know how much you realize that yet or not.
No, no, I don't. But
people see that, man. It's kind of like it's gonna be to the point, in my opinion, as far as brand, people, I'm gonna give you an example. Q-Tip is a company, but if you go to Target or CVS and buy, it's cotton swabs. But what do people say instead of? They say Q-Tip.
Right. That's right. That's true.
Vaseline is actually petroleum jelly, but if you get a generic brand that says petroleum jelly and you're at home, what do you tell your family? Hey, can you pass me the Vaseline? They still say Vaseline. That's solidifying that brand management. That's exactly what you're doing. From when I saw you. And I would tell you another thing that I know that took you next level when we first linked up. You know, I was getting the accessories. You know, I'm a clothes person. Like,
right,
you know,
right.
Like the accessorize, the bracelets and stuff, the bracelets and, you know, and everything. And I said to myself, I'm like, man, how come this brother isn't on, you know, get on Facebook, man. You got on, you went next level Instagram. You got on Facebook. That was a wrap. Once you did that, you know, and then with the shoes too, which I told Steph before you got on, like, man, I got to give me a pair. I keep forgetting it. I gotta go ahead and get a pair of them kits, man.
Yeah, I got some Ronins coming, man. I'm stoked, but so
I'm like, these suckers clean.
Oh yeah. And talking about that, Roger, especially if you, I mean, you guys are intellectuals, and to me, that's another very sexy thing about people, right? And so watching your evolution with your brands and especially your merchandise, you're very smart, Roger, in what you post and how you post. You're very, very thoughtful about how you post and what you post. And there's a couple of examples I want to tell the audience here. One is you gave an example, and I think Ronny, you commented on it. You're giving an example. You're opening up an Under Armour box for sneakers and shoes, and the way they came and how they're packaged and delivered, right? And then I really wish I had a video to show of your shoes. Those boxes, I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, for shoes, man. Yeah. If the shoes had a theme, they're made in Italy. Yeah, your video of going through how they're packaged, individually packaged in the plastic. Like, I'm telling you, man, like that's not Mickey Mouse or Amateur Hour. That's somebody who's put in a lot of thought.
Yeah. And it's the presentation.
And the other side of that is you also make comparisons about, hey, you're willing to pay for this brand over here that's well known, and you're paying like $500 for it, but it's made in China or something, and it's really garbage in the way that it's actually fabricated. Right. And I'm hearing your message. Right. Because like Ronny just said, that logo there, Hustle Hard, I know it's going to be a household name. I know it's going to be a household name. And because your messages are spot on and they're perfect, and it's getting people to think, well, you're going to buy a Supreme bag. Don't get me started on Supreme. And you're going to spend X amount of dollars on it, and there's really no quality. And then just getting people to recognize, okay, well, I'm not familiar with Hustle Hard, or maybe there isn't a celebrity who's wearing, Roger's stuff, because it's like, fuck that shit, man. It's like, I saw those sneakers, man. I said, I gotta get me some, and then I'm accessorizing too. I got a bracelet coming. I got a T-shirt coming. So your stuff is amazing. Here, I'll put up a couple more pictures.
So I walked into a Walmart this past week to get my salsa. Okay, so I walk in there and I go get my jar of salsa.
Picante?
I got my picante, and so this kid is over there set up. He got a table set up in the aisle with another guy, and I don't know what they're selling, but they stopped me. I give him the time of day. I talk to him. I'm not in a hurry. I'm feeling pretty good, and the other kid makes a comment about. He says, you know what? He says, you got a good vibe, and I said that was nice of him, because not everybody takes. Say that, okay? But then the other kid goes, oh, I like your hat. He says, where's that? He says, where's that from? And of course, I'm telling him, about me, and I give him my stuff. I'm like, that's what I'm after, man. That's what I'm after. Stop me, man. Stop me. I'm hoping someone will just stop me. Hey, excuse me. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are shy to do that. A lot of people are afraid to do that. But step back on what you were saying though about, like I said, the shoes and everything. Because we've all spent some money on products, right? We've all spent money on products.
Man, I'm about to sell you in a few minutes, man. Come on now.
And those right there,
them clean mofos, ain't it, man?
Those right there in particular, I want those right there too. But I haven't. Like I said, it costs a dime to make them. But that's the next. I want to get those too. But to be real with you guys, for the first time, I wore my pair yesterday, guys. And the reason why I don't wear them is because it costs a lot to make, and I have to use them to marketing. Okay. So because they're expensive to make, like I said, I'll wait and I'll market as much as I can. And I finally put on my first pair yesterday and enjoy the hell out of it. And I said to myself, I can't wait till Steph gets his. I said, because his I like better than the one I was wearing yesterday.
See? And you know what? And that's a beautiful thing. I love that. I love that Steph got that pair and supporting the brand. Man, look, it's all about knowing your value,
Yeah.
knowing your value and just letting people know that. It's going to come with you not getting a few sales, but the people who truly believe in what you're doing, they're gonna buy into it. They're gonna buy your brand, man. Because like it's a lot of times, and we've known each other for years. When I inbox you, I'm like, hey, I don't ask you how much would you charge me.
Nope.
I go to you like, hey man, how much of those? Let's get it.
Yep.
Let's get it. You know, that's support. That's
well, and that's
well said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we both done. Like I said, we've all done that. You know, Steph the same way. He's, hey, I need this. I said, let's do it. And we worry about that other stuff later on. Okay.
And then, Roger, sorry, you're always so kind too. Hey, he'll tell me how much, and I'll say, you know, I'll send it to you like later because if I'm driving, sometimes you know, text.
Right.
But, so, and then Roger, right? Because we have a relationship, you know, and water. He's like, oh, no rush, Steph, no rush. I'm like, fuck that shit, man. Get your money in your pocket, like PayPal, man. Boom, like, and that's the respect.
And he knows that too. I do it too. I'm like, come on, man, let's get it.
You guys have both been, you guys have both been the same way. The first time Ronnie and I met for the first time, he came down to Austin. I think that's when you were meeting with Pepper, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then we went to Starbucks. I picked him up and we went to Starbucks and I had all my gear in the back of the SUV and he blew some money right then and there. I'll never forget that.
You know, my money.
Yeah. And so, like I said, you guys, you know, you back up what you say. I know that.
Back to the passion theme of the show is we're all entrepreneurs here on this show, the three of us.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
boxes, right? We're entrepreneurs and we're very passionate. And the things that we produce are an extension of who we are. Our bloody souls go into what we create, what we do. Back to how you look in your pictures and what you do and the details of your work and what you've provided for me are all gifts. They're gifts, and that's the way I look at them. And because we know what it's like when you're an entrepreneur to get paid.
Right.
You know, it's right. Waiting on somebody saying, "I'm going to pay you," up and down that street many times. Yeah, you know, I'm going to pay you stuff. I'm going to pay you, and you're like, you know what? You're starting to have to chase that money, man. That's. You know what? I always say this, and I say this even at work, right? I said there's two things you don't fuck around with. That's people's time and people's money. Those are at the top of my list. From mantras. Just don't do that. You do any one of those two things, you'll blow up a bridge real fucking quick with people. I guarantee you. Exactly.
So
it
is.
No, but I'm hoping, like I said, I feel as though, like you guys, I do feel strongly, very strongly about what I'm doing with Hustle Hard in particular. Again, I've got those other brands, but those are the brands because Hustle Hard has been so prominent and so strong, and I do see the viability and the potential in it. I have to convince myself, I have to tell myself that this is the one that's going to get me to the top or as far as I can go, as far as good Lord will let me go. So much
to God's ears.
Yes, sir. So much to the point to where I'm already thinking that when I do pass on, is this all going to be for naught? And I don't want it to be that. If I'm going to continue to do this, I need to find a way. I need to start looking at plans as to, okay, whose lap can I leave it in? Who's got that much drive and desire to carry this on? Because if I can't do it, somebody surely can take it and run with it, and they can do something with it. I feel that strong about it. I feel that strong. We can compete with Adidas and the Nike and bring something different, because it's not just like I said. I tell people, Hustle Hard is about what, like you said, Steph, your hustle. You know, it's about your hustle. You know, Nike.
That's a mindset.
Nike can't say that. Nike can't say that. What can Nike say? You put a swoosh on and that's it. And I'm not. And I still wear Nike. I still wear Adidas. I wear whatever. I love brands. I love the way clothes are made and stuff like that. I don't down anybody else. But what I do say is that Hustle Hard is more about you. So when you wear the logo, it's you are representing you. You know, that's what it's about. So when you wear the hat, they can say, "Well, what's that all about?" Shit, it means I got hustle, man. It means I'm doing my thing. You know, it's not about Roger Casanova. It's not about that. It's about you. So that's what I believe. I truly believe that this can go further. I may not be able to do it in my time. Now, my goal is to do it in my time. You know, I don't give a shit how long it takes. I might be doing this. I might be that 90-year-old dude that's got a damn earring in his ear and sporting a damn one-piece bathing suit like Prince and wearing heels.
Yeah.
See, what we have going on here is we're philosophers, gentlemen, and probably you guys have already connected to that in a way. But I'm going to tell you here just exactly what we are, because your brand hustle hard. When you say that's how I look at it, right? I wear a hustle hard hat, whatever. I connect to it based on the story of my life, my narrative, and hustle hard doesn't have to be that you're an entrepreneur trying to make it big as well, or make it to where you're going to be happy with. It's just even getting out of fucking bed and facing the world with all of the, the stuff that is challenging you, and you're able to do your 9 to 5. You know, you may be going through a bad breakup or this or that, but you're still, pulling it in together and making it happen, and getting through your day. That's what hustle hard means to me.
That's exactly right.
As
well as fire. Like I said,
thank you.
It's got the same mantra, right?
Yes.
Right, Ron?
It does.
It's got. I know he's got it back there. Ron's looking for it right now, but that's the same mantra. Is fire? It's got the same feeling. It's the same idea. Okay, it's fuck all y'all, man. You don't like what I'm doing?
It's the same mindset.
Yeah, get on with it. Get out of my way, because I'm coming through.
It's the same mindset.
Same thing.
And it was going to be a segue to that too, and you got it, and I appreciate it. And that's why this one's been the funnest one for me. I was telling Ronnie before you jumped into the studio there that life's been extremely busy in so many ways. Career-wise, has been extremely busy, and some of my true passions have kind of fallen by the wayside. And this show was one of them. And Fire was just, you and I collaborating on that. It was so much fun, and it came to fruition, and just the story and what it means. And I don't know how many, you want to talk about like tutorials, right? I've given out, I don't know how many hats. I've spent so much money on hats, customizing them. I have 2 guys at work where you'll remember that, because I'm creative like you. I said, oh, he's from Vietnam. So I did it with the 3 colors. I did the Vietnam flag with the flames, right? And then one guy's from Cambodia, and I did the same thing. And there's 3 or 4 guys that walk around work with their fire hats on all the time.
Yeah, all the time, right?
And I've got a shit-eating grin on my face, because either they don't stop and ask, right? They say fire, or you say the first time what it stands for, fuck all y'all. People go, well, that's rude. Right? It goes, it is if you're a fucking Debbie Downer, it is.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
But it's a superpower, right? It's meaning,
that's right.
Hey, I'm not going to get dirty down in my pit with you guys. I'm going to stay up here, like you said, just to wash over me. And so your branding, like here, I'll pull up one more picture, and we'll talk more about passion. We'll deeper down the rabbit hole there. I know this is another passion of yours, Roger. Right. I happen to love what this stands for.
Yeah. And that one, like I said, that one was more of a personal that the logo, again, just with my business, Casanova Design. So that has turned out to be, again, almost like Hustle Hard. It's not about the business. It's just about the drive you have inside, basically, and all the heart and the hard work you put into what you do. So again, that was the mantra behind all that, though. So, but like I said,
live, laugh, and love, right? Did I get that right?
Live, laugh, and love.
I just had an epiphany, right? So it helps when you drink Don Julio the night before. It really helps, keep you fluid. Is live, laugh, and love. You've got the hustle hard, where you got the nose to the grindstone, right? You're trying to just pushing through, but then don't forget to stop and live, laugh, and love in the process.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
That part.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when I saw because I kept seeing your merch in your high tops, and I settled on the Ronins, right? Because when I saw them, because I was in the market for a new pair of high tops, and I don't have any. I was looking at different companies like No Bull, and they got some interesting stuff. And then I saw those, and I was like, done, right? And the fact that you're putting out more than one flavor, like those latest ones there with the extended tongue. I don't have a picture. I'm wearing those too, by the way.
I'm gonna get me some as well. But you're gonna love those Ronins, man. Like I said, you're gonna feel like a whole different guy, man. You're gonna feel you ain't gonna want to take those German Shepherds walking in those bad boys.
Oh fuck no! I'll be wearing them out in the office at work and having everybody.
Nice, they're clean, man. They're clean.
Hey Ron,
love them.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I saw someone in their studio. I think it was a TikTok or Instagram, and they had the singer, the artist was behind him while he was at the desk doing his work, like you do.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, well, Ronnie does that. I said, so I was wondering, what was the idea? I have a feeling I know what the idea is, but I wanted to hear your take on it. Why do you put the artist behind you while you're in front?
You know what? It's not for me, and I can't speak for anybody else. It's nothing that I think strategically about it.
No,
It just works out like that because this area is in the basement of my home. So,
right.
But when you get everything, but we couldn't get everything retrofitted. We got it finished, and I'm using this as a spot for studio. So it's very, like the aesthetics are studio, but it wasn't originally meant to be that way. I made it like that.
Yeah,
but
I thought.
But it's, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I thought it was a strategic thing, kind of.
Yeah, it's nothing really strategic. I guess if you have for me, I guess if I had to say the only thing strategic about it is to get the best performance out of the artist is to have them next to you.
Yeah.
For me, and then another reason that I don't have an actual vocal booth. Right. So that tells a part in itself as well. But yeah, I found that to be a little bit more effective because when I first started years ago, I had vocalists all the way in the back of this around the corner, maybe about 15 feet away from me.
Okay.
And I daisy chained my mic cords and they were all the way away from me.
Really?
So, I wanted that booth vibe, back then. But I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
When I got into that simplifying mode, maybe like a couple of years ago, and that was one of the things that I simplified. Instead of trying to be real fancy, I just basically simplified it. And I go back to what I said, earlier. It's all so simple. And it's not complicated. I know people see me when I use like third-party things to mix my music, like plugins that I buy and things like that. But I want to preface it by saying this: I got those things by getting better. But if you don't hone into the skill at the beginning, those things aren't going to do you any good.
Nope.
It's kind of like, I look at analogy. Okay, I got a car. I got my first hoopty. It's got 100,000 miles on it. Point A to point B. All right, I'm to the point now. Then you get to the point. Oh, okay, my driving's down. I got my driving down pat. I'm a new driver. My job is better. I'm making more money. Right. I can upgrade. It's that analogy.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You don't have to go into it.
Yeah. I see.
And go into it like that.
Yeah, I see some artists like that, and it kind of pales me to see that you get all this stuff and then you don't know what to do with it, or you don't produce.
Right. And I felt, and you, man, you don't get wisdom you don't come out the womb with wisdom. Wisdom is obtained by going through it yourself.
That's right.
And that happened to me, It happened to me, I'm getting all the plugins. I'm getting the plugins, and I'm using all this. And I had to think back, had to stop and think. I don't have a clue on how I'm using this stuff.
Yeah. Listen to this, man. Is that my wife and I, we talk about it still. And we were talking about it the other day, and I said, to get
man,
where
I
I'm
love
at.
your wife, man. Esmeralda is
hey, man.
Funny.
Hey.
That's a girl.
I tell you what, and with her, she doesn't like just anybody, man. She don't like. When I talk about you guys, when I talk about no, she's tough, man. She barely likes me. She barely.
Shit.
So I'm lucky. I'm still in the house, guys. Hey, no, she loves the both of you. Whenever I try to bring y'all's names up, she goes, "Oh, really?" And so I had to. We were in an errand before I came over here, and I said, "I gotta get back. I gotta get the interview going." She goes, "Oh, okay." So we're all rushing over here, but anyhow, she loves you both. But what was I getting at? The story was that over my time as an artist. There's a couple times in my life where I threw all my supplies away. I threw everything in the trash.
Wow.
All my tools, artwork, and everything. I said, you know what? I'm done. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not doing anything for me, whatever.
Wow.
And my mother took it all out of the trash. My mother dug it all out of the trash. She started hanging pictures back up on the wall. And she kept art supplies. I said, okay. So for whatever that was worth, I got back into it. Then I went through a spell again, and I started throwing shit away and stuff like that. And who digs them out of the trash? My wife. She starts pulling stuff out of the trash. She goes, well, if you're not going to use them, I'm going to use them. So she pulls them out of the trash and stuff like that. What that was her intent, I don't know. But it probably was her intent to use them for herself. but
I know what she was doing.
She was,
yeah, standing by her man.
Yeah, she didn't want you to quit, man. Man, look, that support system, regardless of what anybody say, man, that support system is everything.
Yeah,
I know cats, man. I know cats who do what we do.
Yeah.
And their significant other or whomever puts a time limit on it and this man ain't, you know what? Like your passion is not your passion is not antiquated to a time limit, man. And if people really believe in what you're doing, they realize that, man. My wife supports me like 110%.
Oh, I know she does.
You know, I just have to make sure be cognizant and make sure for me that I make time. Like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this and do that. And
exactly why I was running a few minutes before our show here, man.
Yeah, said, you know what I mean?
Do this, I'll get my ass, get it going, you know, and so
because a man's purpose is genuinely attractive to a woman. Believe it or not. It's true, right?
Yeah.
And so I love that stuff, man. Great story about your mom and your wife there and along the journey of wanting to just, cash in your chips. But hey, look at where you are today, man. It's just a freaking beautiful story. Now back to, and I'm going to come to you, Ronnie, in a sec, is back to the sneakers. I want to finish the story as to why I picked the Ronins. I do have a tattoo on my forearm that's a female samurai. And the reason why I picked the female samurai as part of my artwork is because I enjoy strong women.
Yep.
I like strong women, and you guys both have strong women.
And
I am truly a samurai without a master, because nobody's my master, man.
That's right.
Nobody's my master. So that's why I saw those shoes, colors were tight, everything was perfect, plus the Ronin piece. So to bounce back to you, Ronnie. So there is a project. We're going to get talking a little bit more about passion and maybe what's next, and we can just freestyle that conversation too. I am going to need your help for what's next for me. So I reached out to, so these have all been stepping stones my whole life, different careers, what I've done, who I've worked with, I always knew in my mind's eye that I will be traveling the world speaking. And that guy, and that's why the book's taken me so long, because I've got stuff written in little pieces of paper, cocktail napkins. Middle of the night, I text myself shit because I'm like, oh, that's a really good thought, right? I don't want to lose it, and I'm sure that happens with you guys. Oh shit, or whatever, a little sketch or something, and then that's why I said I need a little bit of wind in my sails. I'm a visual guy as much as on a visual. And I said to Roger, I said, give me some motivation, man. I need to start creating my book cover, right? And the book cover, because and it's funny because there's Annie Anderson, who was on a show I did. She's in Texas. I'm trying to think of the little town that she's in. It's not coming to me, but I talked about coming to speak in Texas, and she said, man, you just tell me when it is and I'll have the place sold out for you, right? And I'm like, oh, and there's that support, right? People believe in it.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm going to need outside of the book cover, and then when I do, step off that ledge and do my first, engagements, I do a lot of different ones in different ways. I've been asked to speak at a safety conference in April. I don't know what that looks like yet. But when I'm going to be coming out on stage, Mr. Producer, this cat's going to need a jingle. I'm going to need my soundtrack, my sound bite.
All right. Okay. Let's get
the intro.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious about that, because that's, again, like we're talking about how we package, how we present ourselves. And I've already envisioned and fantasized my speech and what I want to talk and share with people who are willing to listen to my story a million times. I've been on stage a million times in my mind. And I want an intro.
Sounds like fun, Ron. Fun, man.
And
hey, we'll put our heads together on it. You just let me know what you're looking for. What vibe, I guess what genre, if there's anything. If you want to if you want a hype track, I can do that for you. You know,
I have a few ideas.
I'm hearing something like kind of gritty, kind of.
You got it, brother. Like a UFC entrance, like the Octagon song, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I can.
It's like I don't know. I don't know what's.
Yep.
I don't know who's coming out on stage. I don't know what's going to happen next. But shit.
Yeah.
Pretty much fasten your seatbelts, right?
When you put the horns in there.
Oh man.
Throw a couple of those in them. All right, I got you.
Right on. So
that's on the road.
Hey, you know what? I may very well just start in Texas, right? Because you know I've got an invite there, and I may just start there, right? But so I'm very excited for the next chapters in my life. Very much so. 50 years old, and a lot of time under the bridge. You know, a lot of changes, a lot of evolutions, a lot of high points and low points, and we've all had them. But I'm excited for the future. So speaking of the future, Ronny, I mean, what's kind of like on the horizon? What's within your grasp of what you're?
The immediate right now, I'm working on the second EP for XO Chicago. Her name is Sophie. So I'm working on the second EP for her.
Great voice.
I'm working on a second EP. The thing is about her, the first one I did, she said she wasn't fully out her bag, out of her, you know, to like really, she wasn't really comfortable with this one. But the songs I have for her now, she's truly comfortable now.
All right.
You know, which I'm really excited.
I listened to this, like Roger said, great voice, nice music. Was she the one who was coming out of a difficult past or situation?
Yes.
That artist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is. So she's, you know, she told me she's more comfortable now. I'm like, you were holding back? Okay. Yeah. The one thing I do when I work with artists, man, I let them be them. I don't instill what I want, what I envision for them. Good. If that makes sense.
Yep. And that's what I was getting earlier, was about the way you have them placed. Is what I was getting about earlier, was that I think for the way it worked out, funny as it is, and like I said, it made me think about you because I saw this other dude with the same way, was the artist was behind him, because you don't intimidate the artist, you know, and you don't feel pressure because they're back there doing their thing and you're up at front and they see you do it also, and they pick up on that as well, you know.
I really love that now that we're talking a little bit more about that dynamic, because it's almost like the parent over shoulder scenario, right? Parent over shoulder, where because if I had somebody over my shoulder in that capacity where I was trying to kind of do my thing, that's keen eye picking up on that. That's true.
Yeah, I strongly believe a producer is a conduit on what the artist envisioned. When you have a producer that goes in and thinks they're the artist, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a conflict. A producer is an artist to a point, but the main thing that they only have two purposes, as I said at first, to make sure that the things that the project that the artist's vision comes into fruition, and number two is to get the best performance out of the artist. A lot of artists are lacking on that these days. They don't get the best performance. It's all about them. Maybe they obtain an artist who has a big following. They got like 40, 50,000 followers. They're in their studio. They're happy they're on the track, but they don't realize, hey, you sang this flat, so do this shit again. And that's me. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm not starstruck. A lot of the artists who I work with, they'll tell you like, hey, you know, he's Ronny. I'm not a yes man.
Right.
You know, hey, we could do this. We can do this better. It's not. I don't think I intimidated, but it's like, okay,
you pull the potential out of them. You pull the potential.
Let's do this again. You know,
it's like a mentorship.
We could do that one more time. You know. Yeah.
I love that example. Sorry to inject there, because sometimes I get goosebumps when you guys talk, and depending on what comes out of your mouths, and, you know, and I reflect, I soak you guys in as we deliberate, and it's about mentorship, and it's like you said, the potential, eliciting that potential that you know is in there, and some people kind of hold back, or they're shy, or they don't believe, because their music, and especially if it's coming like writing a book, or you know, your artwork or your music, I mean, your soul's attached to that of stuff,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's very personal, intimate stuff, and you're worried that you're going to be judged, right?
Yeah.
But it's in the manner. It's in the manner and how you ask for more, right?
Exactly.
And it's you guys have very big hearts, and you're very polished people, and you come from a good place when you look to raise the bar for someone. Not to say, yo, what the fuck was that garbage, dipshit? You know, that's the one more time around, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's right, and you get it, you understand, and that's why you get the you know, the full potential from your people, and you get some. I'm sure. Here's a question as I'm hearing myself speak: is you must get some really cool aha moments with some of your artists when you're working on something. Do you ever get like a, whew,
yeah,
there was.
Yeah. That's it. That was it. You know what I do when I hear it? I giggle. I laugh.
Really?
And people are like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, because
that was it.
Because I already know when I hear them sing a melody. Let me just preface it by saying this. My lyrical skills are shit. I can't, you know, like a real man knows limitations.
Yeah.
I can compose. I can think of a melody, but put it in words. Yeah, that's I trust the artist, you know, on that part. But as far as structurally, when they have their lyrics going, their melody lines, I already know ahead of time, and I'm laughing to myself. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill this shit. Wait till I mix this. Yeah, you gonna get right. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like I already know ahead of time. I'm thinking ahead.
Yeah,
I'm 2 steps ahead.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, but that's what I do. I laugh. I'm like,
really? You see, for me, if I was behind you singing, you know, whatever song I want to pick, right? You know,
right.
And then I hear it, I'd be like,
that could probably be intimidating. People don't know.
There you go.
Like,
yeah, that's what I do. I when I get that one, I throw the pen down and I go grab a potato chip or something like that to eat.
Or I tell them, hey, get out of my house. Or I tell them that too. Hey, get out. Just go.
So the future for you, that's cool that you're getting another and second opportunity to work with somebody you work with who feels that she has more to give, and having that relationship and being able to. I love the word collaborate. It sounds like I overuse it sometimes, but when you're really collaborating with the right people and good people, and it cuts both ways and it's genuine, you know, it's a beautiful thing, you know. It truly is. I mean, we are creatures. We're social creatures, and we like we talked about words like support, you know, and love, and you know, care, consideration, but just that collaboration, right? It's even if you're making a dish for dinner. Yeah. And you in the process, you know, you're laughing, you're joking, you're being, you know, amorous, and you're having fun putting the meal together. And you're like, no, it needs a little more of this or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's why I find collaborating just the best.
Well, it is funny though, because even like with Steph and I, you know, working on several projects.
Yes.
What I truly love about it is knowing that we didn't just do one project. You know, because I've got projects like that to do one, and it's one and done. They call it one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's somebody that needs a little more, something else, and like, man, it's good to know that we can connect again and make things happen. You know, make it happen again.
Yeah.
Or and again, like with you, Ron, if things don't work out, that we can tell each other, well, you know, because we had maybe Steph and I had a couple projects like that where, you know, I think I've got the right thing, and just. You know, I don't know. That's not really what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And you don't take it personal. It's like, okay,
no,
well,
you don't. You don't
do better then.
Right. You know what? And to piggyback on that, man, it's you. What we do, you're gonna run into people where you might just have one collaborative thing with them, and you don't gel or you don't mesh. That's cool, you know. But it's, you know, as long as you show what you got to offer or to put on the table.
Right.
And if they don't want to eat,
you know,
that's
you know, it's just what it is. You know, I had a friend of mine. He's a good guy. And this was a conversation yesterday, actually. Yeah. He's a real good guy. He, Trixie Fender introduced him to me when I was working with her. Okay. But he's into music. He always direct messages me in Facebook, say, yeah, I noticed, I see this artist and I think you'll be, you know, a great producer for her. I'm like, okay, you know, what's her name? You know, everything cool. I looked at her profile on TikTok. She's got about 60,000 followers.
Damn.
She's only following about 200. Now goes back into the attract not chase. I'm like, and I told him like, so how am I going? Like, if I were to DM this girl, she's cold, she's badass. I'm going to put preface it by saying that.
Yeah.
My DM is going to be just put in the abyss,
right,
with everybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
yeah, there's,
if people want to see, people going to see you, they're going to see you.
Right.
And it's an artist. She's from Turkey. I just did a single with her. Her name is Selenai.
Yeah.
I did one single with her.
Okay.
She found me.
Okay.
The right people going to find you.
Right.
You know,
that's what
you have to believe in.
No truer words, Ronnie. And that sets things up perfectly. Earlier today, I was sharing the story is they're going to find you. I found this handsome devil here, Prince's baby. His baby boy here.
There's baby boy.
Through Instagram.
Love child.
Yeah.
And I'm as tall as Prince too. I'm a little bit taller than Prince. So.
Yeah. Do you move like him too?
Yeah.
Yeah. When nobody's watching.
Yes.
He said Esmeralda don't loan even hardly like him. She like that Prince though. That's why she married him.
Right on, man.
Okay. That's wrong.
So I found him through Instagram. I had my own iteration of, Fire. I just put it on a hat and a lids with a script that they had because it was fun to me to put it on, right? And then I was on Instagram and then I saw his stuff. And I think the first thing I saw from you was your bicycle, right? You're drawing your bike and the helmet. I was like, I said, that's really freaking cool, man. I like the lines on it. It looks really good.
Did you DM me? You sent me a direct message?
I did. I DM'd you, yeah. And fortunately, Ronnie, I did end up in the abyss. He took me on. And Roger, you were talking earlier about, some projects you're collaborating, it's going well. And I think our greatest challenge for us, because I didn't even know really how to approach it either, was the most recent one, which is OnTheCusp, right?
Right.
That one, right? Paid in full.
That was a tough one.
It was a little difficult to articulate because it's a little bit more ethereal than a Fire or rebranding my Hybrid Strong or even OnTheCusp, which is the logo there, right? And some people that when I wear my hat and they would look and see me look closer, right? You have an O and you have a C, and then the keyhole there's a T and the C, which is really smart.
They don't necessarily have to get it though. They don't necessarily get it. Yeah.
And when he came up with this concept, I was like, you know what? That's really cool because what OnTheCusp tries to do and with these shows, as we talked about providing tools, is giving people more keys to the city, man. Opens some doors. And I was like, bang on. But OnTheCusp was like trying to figure that out even for myself. And
that was a tough one. Yeah, that was a tough one. But I'm glad we got it though.
Yeah, and it ties into what you said earlier around, everything you're working hard with, hustle hard, and after you're gone and kind of what you leave behind in that legacy. And that's what Paid in Full means for me is if today was my last day, and I am confident in that. It's not. I don't want it to sound arrogant, guys, but if today was my last day, I'm very content with what I gave of myself while I was here.
Yeah, there's no arrogance in that. Confidence. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and especially how you portray that, how you give that out. There's a difference. So yeah, you have to be. I think you have to be some type. There has to be some confidence somewhere. Like again, the way we talk, and no, it's not arrogance, but I do truly believe, as we all do, that if we were to go today, that we do feel confident about what we have left behind and what we've done. There's no regrets. So and we don't, and
you more than likely inspired somebody too,
and that's what we hope to do.
So it's all about legacies, as we said. So
another one of my favorite words, right? And I think I'm not going to speak for all of us, but I think for us guys, I think part of what drives our creative juices or appetite, and like you say, Ronnie, there's always more, want more, teach yourself more and keep growing, right? There's no end to it. It's part of that legacy, it's leaving that stuff behind. Like even this video, like this will be on YouTube forever and ever and ever, right? Or the Fire hat or your branding and your music and
absolutely
that touches. It's immortal.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's immortality through our craft and through our gifts and through what we've created. And so kind of rounding the circle here back to what's next, we're talking, to Ronny, and he's doing another album, which is awesome. I look forward to seeing that stuff come out and looking at that and listening to it. What about yourself, Roger?
Yeah, well, the idea is to continue to push with Hustle Hard. What I need to do, since we're being honest and everything, I need to. I'm going to employ some models and get the brand and push the brand a little bit harder. This is the next phase, is to get some actual models. I had some people lined up a while back, and it was my fault. I didn't follow through with it. So this year, I'm hoping to follow through with actually having some people model the goods, and we'll see how that goes out.
Oh, that's gonna be dope.
I hope
That's gonna be really dope. Sounds
so.
like,
Yeah, I hope that's the plan,
Yeah.
and I think that's the next phase. The next step is that I've had people that have asked to invest in the business, but unfortunately, for me, it says a couple things. Number one, it says they truly believe in the product as well. And these are people that aren't brand. I don't think they're brand consumers, but they see the potential. But it's also a big responsibility too, though. So I have to kind of, weigh and see what's going to work, what's not going to work. But it's nice to know there's people out there that are interested and that believe in the brand as well. So that says a lot about what's going on. That's great. The potential is there, and my door's open to opportunity there as well. Like I said, I had people come to me and say, "Hey, look, I had family that come to me and say, I'd like to invest in it, but the thing is, you get family involved sometimes."
Yep.
Yeah, they're not the right people.
Yeah.
You love them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you love them. It's just like when they want you to do work for them, and they want you to do work, but they don't want to pay, or you can't produce.
Man, come on.
You're fighting each other, right?
Man,
so
your best support is not going to be those people.
No,
it's not.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier.
Especially when you're talking about when you're inviting financial injection into something that you work so passionately, which is the theme of the show, and so hard and so long. Now you're starting to expose yourself to people wanting to kind of take the steering wheel, even if you say silent partner, right? Oh no, silent partner, or Roger, just you keep doing your thing, and then
I have to consider now also, okay, does this mean I have to watch what I say and watch what I do? Because if my ship goes down, they're going down with it. And they also have to realize that the money they put into it, they may not be getting back. So there's a big responsibility,
Well, you got to take this into consideration too, Roger. When you're working with people who make your passion out of a chore, rethink it. Because all money ain't good money.
Right.
Right. I got goosebumps right there.
You know what I'm saying? So be careful with that. I've been there.
From experience.
Done that, got the t-shirt.
That makes a big difference.
And this ties into one of my favorite quotes. And like for decisions, big decisions like that, like working big decisions, man. Is truly like decisions are like picking up a stick. You have no choice but to pick up both ends of the stick, right? And what people often do is they get excited about what they see at the most immediate end of the stick. These are all the things that are, I'm excited or whatever. You pick up a stick, but you know what? What's down at the other end of that stick that comes along? And that's one of those moments right there. What is everything else that's coming along with the other end of that stick?
See, and that's just it, though. It's not pretty, right? You don't know what's at the other end because it's not pretty. Because you don't see. All you see is what's there in front of you, but you don't see what's behind it. So all the other stuff
it's what's going to give them. It's going to make them come up monetarily first, and you got to be careful with people with that mindset.
Yeah.
True.
Right. And
they take advantage.
It's like what are their intentions, right? And the title of my book. right, is with good intentions, right? And the gifts that come with learning to lead yourself with good intentions. And some smart person told me recently is that it's the intentions that matter the most. It's not necessarily the outcomes.
True. That's
and
right.
I was like, snap, I'm keeping that one, putting that one in, right? Because somebody can intend without malice and with the, goodness of their heart that this is, ultimately what I'm thinking is going to, arise from this as a result. And as we all know, oftentimes we have those good intentions and this shit blows up in your face, right? So, And in talking about the passionate piece a little bit more is, I look at you both, you do your tutorials and the time that you take to have to put that together, think about it, package it. It's just right to put it out there to the world. And the same thing with you. I see both of you and the relentless posts, and like Roger, like especially the relentless posts you're doing for your brand. Because as you know, it is that, when I'm on Facebook and I'll see the same ad for something like freaking the 50th time, like in like 2 hours. And you know what? I have purchased stuff that finally went, oh, okay. I think that's cool.
Gotcha.
I'll pick it up, purchase, and I know that's part of the process. But the passion that's needed for that full-time job outside of the full-time job, job. That's why you guys are second to none, man. Fucking top shelf.
You know what? If your passion shouldn't come with excuses for not pursuing it. You're always gonna have your 9 to 5. You got to make money. You got to put food on the table. Right. I see a lot of people, especially what I do, man, is music. I had to wean myself out over the past year on people who take it as a hobby. And they're probably great artists. Right. Not probably, they were great individuals, but this was serious for me. Yes. Right. And I had to consciously separate myself from that mindset. It's like, you'd be surprised. Like a lot of people be like, oh yeah, they want to, cut a track and, kind of saying, hey, look what I did. And they're not, they're not serious about it. They don't push their product, because as a producer, you really don't, you can't really push it for them. You can say something about it, that I did this track, blah, blah, blah. But at the ultimate end of the day, they have to do it. So like, especially for what I do, you got to like realize who you're working with. Do they push themselves? Do they push their product? Things like that. All that stuff you got to take into account. It's a lot of people just give up on it, man. And, I get approached by a lot of people, awesome singers, just cold. But, I see the presence on social media is not there. It's just, you can't brand yourself.
Jiving, right? Not everything is jiving like it needs to be.
Yeah. God, you guys are so smart, man. I love you guys. You guys make me think. That's why I write notes, man. I can't keep up with the freaking the smartness coming out of you. I got like 6 pages of stuff. As long as you stop writing, I'll just.
But you know what? We're not smart yet. Like I said, I just started with that mindset.
Right. Speak for yourself.
No, but you know what? But as I said earlier, you have to go through that to be wise about it. And I would love to work with any and everybody, but you can't just do that, because everybody does not have that same passion.
So you inspired a question for the two of you, and I'll compliment after. Is with the experience now that you have and cutting your teeth over and over again and getting seasoned and understanding. So I'll ask you, Ronny, first, because you conjured up the question in my head, are you now more savvy and quick to determine whether you've got what it takes, or you've got the endurance or the gas in the tank to?
Very, because I came to realize over the years, it's more about work ethic than it is about talent.
No truer words. No. Okay, I got to write something else down. I got to come back to that one. Roger, for you.
No, I think, like I said, I feel as guys, I still have a long way to go, man. And I don't know, and I think that's what keeps me driven, It keeps me driven because I tell you what, I thank God that I'm creative because I sure in the hell couldn't make it any other way, man. I could not make it any other way, man.
I beg to differ on what you just said because I think you're well on your way.
So do I.
But I get it why you want to keep yourself humble. So I get it why you're saying that.
We feel you, Roger. We feel you.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, I think that I do seem to talk down on myself a little bit, but I think it does help me stay humble, though. It helps me stay humble. It helps me stay driven, and it helps me keep my feet on the ground, realizing that I'm just another guy. I'm just another dude, you know.
Man,
so
look, I'm gonna give you your flowers.
All right.
You know, and
you
know, I'm gonna give you your flowers while you're here. I ain't giving you your flowers while you're going. You're an awesome dude.
I appreciate you, brother.
Your creativity is top notch, man. I see your posts. I see you every single day. Yeah. You know, and I see your drive.
Yeah.
The best thing I could tell you, keep doing what you're doing, man. It ain't, you know, people see it. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, people see it, they ain't saying nothing because there's haters out there. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. There's haters out there, but they see you. Yeah, they see you. You know, you get people who want to just like lay back in the cut and see who, you know, what you do. And once you get on, that's when they're gonna get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
People are like that. You have to, you know, it's crazy. It's like people support the like a star, but they're not going to support like their friend who's starting a business.
And that's something else
to me, the human mindset with that, you know?
Yeah.
Ronnie, I've cried a few times on this show on the cusp on different occasions. And when you started out with giving you his flowers now, whatever, I started to well up. I was on the cusp of crying. And
you almost had him, Ron. Almost had
me. Yeah. Where's my Don Julio? But in those moments right there is why I appreciate your company and who you all are and the authenticity and the humility that comes with it. The humility keeps you sharp. Humility keeps you wanting to be hungry for more and to do more and to do better and to keep kind of climbing. And, you know, we were talking about, you know, earlier, you know, I think show me your friends and they'll show you your future. Right. I have never had the graces of meeting you guys physically, but I swear to God, if I ever come into your hood and I see you guys, I would give you guys the biggest manly hug ever. Just now, that's big for yourself. And then you said something too that, you know, talent over work ethic. Like I think that's kind of a good way to sort of, you know, have the show, you know, move on and move out as we do that, is because that's where the passion is, right? Because man, when the example of being able to tell quickly whether you've got a winner or you've got somebody that's going to waste their time and your time and their money, right? Is in my years as a strength and conditioning coach, you know, over 20 years of working with you name it. And if I had a nickel for every time I sat down to do a consultation with someone, which would usually be an hour and a half if done correctly, sometimes it was longer if there were more things to discuss, you know, especially if there's injuries and et cetera, or if you just really click, right? And no different than how many times you may get, hey, DM that I have a project and you got to spend time having that conversation with those people. Hey, Ronnie, I'm a person who sings and music and all that stuff in the background that probably these viewers would understand. It takes a lot of time, and your time is money. We're business people, and I've worked with a lot of people who wasted my fucking time, man. Like it's just frustrating. And like you said, I best example here, guys, would be, let's say at the end of the day, you know, 3 days a week, you know, for your program, X amount of dollars an hour. That means it's roughly 156 sessions together, Ronnie, for the next 12 months. And it's costing you approximately $20,000 for the year to work with me. And then you can, you know, you make payments every month, whatever. Right. And then I always say, well, here's the rub. You got to pick up the weights and do the work and bleed and sweat and eat right and all that other good stuff.
Right.
Because I can't do it for you.
Can't do the work for you. Exactly. I can't do it for you, you know. Yeah.
So when you said that, that was like, oh, I got to go there. That is, you know, such, and I've had people like working with athletes who didn't have that that natural ingrained talent there, right? But they're hungry.
Yeah.
Fire in their belly, man, and you see it, and I just get tingly, man, when I work with people. And I've worked with, we'll say hockey players. Shit don't stink. They're really good at the midget level, bantam level. And there's one guy, I'll never forget. His work ethic was terrible. He was getting asked to go to the junior A camp. He's working with one of my colleagues, and my colleague was very frustrated because of his lack of work ethic, and he just, no, I don't want to do another one. And we'd have a chat with his mom.
The hell?
And I pulled this kid aside and I said, hey, you're going up into the Okanagan to try out for the Kelowna Rockets, whatever, junior A team. I said, I'm going to tell you something. When you get to junior A, son, everybody's good.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. I said, and you're going to feel that the second you step on the ice with all these other cats.
Yeah.
And I said,
yeah.
You go there. And I didn't say anything else. I knew you wouldn't make it. You got kicked out after a week because of exactly that. He got punted, came back, shitty attitude.
Better for him. Yep.
Yeah.
He saved his ass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, man, no truer words have been said, man. You have to, as I said earlier, you got to put value on yourself, not because of you trying to get over on somebody monetarily, man. It just weans out the nonsense.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's
and
I
like what we do, your time wasted.
Yeah, especially like what we do, man. I get people, especially what I do. I don't even, I'm whatever, our perspective artistic endeavors. There is some instances where there's an instant gratification monetarily, then then Rogers, then as with mine is more so like you get people who want just want to collab and want free beats and stuff like that, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
on what you deal with on
and everybody thinks they got something going. They got something to do, right? They got something to give.
Because everybody thinks they got something going. It's only a few people who I just work with, just on that tip where we just collab because I know that person, has that work ethic. But and it's you gotta put a price on your time. That's just your time, 100%. And you got to encourage them. Hey, you pay for this, but maybe you'll push it.
Yeah.
Because if they're not pushing it, I'm not getting streams. They're getting streams. If the streams are not coming,
that's right.
Yeah.
What was the point of that? Last year I looked at my DistroKid collabs. Man, I got over 50 songs in rotation on DistroKid.
Wow.
50 songs. And because and I'm just being full. It's just full disclosure. I don't want to have the persona that I'm doing this and I'm blah blah blah. There's downsides to it, and that's one of them. And 50 of those songs that 99% are not being pushed by the artist, like not at all.
Wow.
Imagine
if they did, if they could.
Imagine if they did.
Wow. Wow.
It's crazy. And I'm being conservative. If it's like 50, I'm being conservative. I have to go in, it's hard to go in there and count like everything, But when you think of like 3 EPs,
but you can
12 songs a piece, 3 or 4 EPs, 12 songs a piece, that's about 50. Approximately.
Wow, that's fascinating. I enjoy knowing stuff like that. So I always try to ensure that I have a good question, sort of more like a closing question. So as we three amigos are riding down the trails on our given horses as the show is sunsetting, my curiosity from people who are cut of the same cloth as I am, who are truly brothers in this life, in this journey, that journey of passion.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear from both of you is, how do you keep your passion momentum? That's how I frame it. How do you keep your passion momentum?
Damn.
I know, right?
Ron, you go, Ron.
You know, nigga. You know what? It's not an exact formula. It's just when you run into something that challenges your passion, you just got to remember why you love doing it. You just keep pushing forward with it. it's some days where, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna binge watch something on Netflix all day. So it's cool to walk away from it, but that's that's for a day or whatever, just so to get your creative juices going. But I love, I just love doing what I do, and I think the work I put in over the years is always something coming up. So it's kind of like, I guess I put an analogy of an investment or an IRA or something like that. It's just that return. People see things that I put on social media and people reach out all the time. So it's always constantly doing something. And I guess the motivation on doing something new and creating something is the main thing. I get a big kick out of just like, man, I created that.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm gonna compliment, because you said reminding yourself of why you're doing it. So there's kind of a follow-up question to kind of like peeling the onion, going a bit deeper. And I'll share with you guys how I remind, you kind of touched on it a bit there, Ronny, how I remind myself why I'm doing it. When I need more fuel, more wind in my sails, and to say, like, you won't binge watch, you go away and you come back to something. But I always look at my past successes. I always look at my past creations, what I've done. Or even we watch a show of like On the Cusp. I haven't done one in a while because it was just busy, whatever. And then I was watching a little bits of your show with you, Ronny, a bit of Roger, and little tidbits, with Sylvain, other people, and whatever. And then I just go, I get so much joy and pleasure from this platform. Or if it's having to do with fitness, right? So I have my ups and downs with my fitness, right? I used to live in an athletic facility, so I can get my workouts in wherever I wanted. So I was spoiled that way. But then when you get into a real job, and we talked about your regular 9 to 5, now, your fitness and your workout and stuff kind of like it's harder to fit in. Well, sometimes I'll look at my Facebook and look at some of my previous pictures or certain videos that I've posted of my workouts, and I go, hey, well, I'm 50. I'm not going to be that ever again.
And not to cut you off, but I need to talk to you about that on the sidebar too. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, no, that was right on, man.
Gotta get this sexy on.
All right, remember that. Right.
I love it. I all day I'm yours, man. Just all day I'm yours, man.
I'm too scared. Hey, I'm too scared to go there, man. I'm too happy with my tacos right now, so I ain't talking to Steph about that right now. Maybe later.
You'd be surprised, man. The road to fitness is not all punishing, man. It's not all punishing. So that was kind of my example, and I guess for you, Ronny, you kind of touched on it. You probably look at some of your past stuff, or you listen to something.
I do, yeah. That's one thing too. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm also, I'm kind of cryptic that way. I like to dip in with you guys, and like I'll post a song or an artist, and I'll tag you.
Yeah.
And
Ronny, I see it all the time. I love it. Right? I love that. I'm like,
yesterday I was listening to George Lee, I think is his name. I had never heard of him, but that specific song, the guitar in it. At the beginning, I said, that's Jordan, man. I said, that's Jordan right there. I feel it, man. I said, I got to tag him on this one.
Yes, sir.
So, Roger, to you. So, like, how you maintain your passion momentum?
Just what you guys have said. You guys hit it the nail on the head. Is that I'll go back on my older stuff and I'll look at it, and I keep on thinking when I see it, I could have done this better. That's my drive. Could have done this better. So I try to make it better or something. But yeah, it's simple. It's just looking and seeing stuff I've done in the past, or especially now, to find the motivation to keep going, keep on telling myself.
Look at everybody wearing your shit,
Yeah. What's that?
Look at everybody's wearing your stuff.
Yeah. And I feel pretty good about it. It feels good. So, like I said, I just keep on thinking, I keep on feeling that we're going to get that day. We're going to get that day, and you guys are going to be right there with me, because you're going to be the ones that said, yeah, we were right there with Roger all along. Keep on saying that when it hits, I know I got my few that I can say, they were there with me, they came, they were there with me. So they were the ones.
When Adidas want to buy your brand for like $2 billion, I'm like, I told you.
You know what? In this banter, I see a future that tickles me to the absolute core. And the day that this happens, mark my words, where I am launched my with good intentions, tour whatnot with my UFC entry song and my cover by Roger Casanova. And if I'm in Chicago, it's like you will get front row seats, signed book, and you can heckle the shit out of me.
Yep. I'm just.
What is he saying, boy?
Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny?
Right?
And you know we'll be up there doing that too.
Oh yeah, you guys would, right? Go back to when we're chatting in the studio.
Sexy man.
Look at that sexy man. Look at that sexy man.
I'll do my little Prince spin. Hey, I gotta think of a wardrobe too, right? So maybe, But you guys are an absolute blast, man. Like this is gonna carry me for the next few days. Just you guys have really filled my cup, and
like same here, brother.
Like always, thank you for your time. It's a gift. It's the way I look at it and feel it. And you guys are the quintessential professionals and masters of your craft. But more importantly, you're beautiful men.
Yeah, well, I think we all feel the same way. Like I said, we feel we've been friends for a while already, so we feel the same way, man. So I still find it funny that, again, we're so far away from each other, yet we feel so close. It's really odd, So and I appreciate you guys. Sometimes we call each other and stuff like that, and I like that. Y'all keep in touch and
a vibe is a vibe. If it's organic, it's organic, man. Some things. Some friendships are undeniable.
Yes,
regardless of the geographic location. So
Well said. And just as another random thought, you touched on it in our last show together, Ronnie, and because you touched on it just there, Roger, about the distance and we're in different places in the world and just the technology that what affords that where you can collaborate and create with people. We talked about that. You can do tracks for people from this person can be in like Denmark and you can work with that person. Roger's in Texas. Hey, I need some branding. I need some logo, right? So that's what this affords us. So I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. So,
yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it, Steph. We
definitely appreciate it, Steph. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
And real quick, you said you go back over your stuff, and when I've gone back over the OnTheCusp podcast, you've done very, very well on those. They're very clean.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What the one with you did with Ron last year, and with myself and all that, and Marco and OB and stuff. They're good stuff, man. So, like I said, I think you again don't let go of it. Keep pushing it. Pushing it because there's something there's something of big value there, that everybody needs to know about. So thank you.
Right on.
Yeah. And another shout out to Steph as far as letting his guests be their authentic selves.
There you go. That's so true.
That plays a heart, that plays a whole lot, so I'm expecting definitely good things from it, man, from you and from your podcast, man. You keep pushing.
Yeah,
keep pushing, brother.
I will.
Forget everybody else. Do you?
Your random shit, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
2:00 in the morning. We want to see that too.
Oh, you will, because I want the rest of the world to know just what the fuck I'm doing. While you're still sleeping in bed and nice and warm and cuddling and happy and
out there running with his dog. 2:00 in the morning, singing a happy song with a smile on his face. I'm thinking, damn, I could barely open my eyes, and it's 10 a.m.
You know what a colleague of mine says to me the other day on Friday, because this is what you get with me, man, all day long, right? It's like high energy, trying to put smile on people's faces, trying to build people up, trying to, just see people succeed. And my one colleague says to me, he goes, I want to drink what you're drinking. I've had people say that a lot to me throughout the years. I'm aware, and it's just fun, right? Because I'm in charge of my day and how I want to feel and my attitude and how I want other people around me to feel.
There you go.
Right? That's it. You do you, bro. You do you, because that's
it right there. Yeah,
we're trying to do the same thing. Trying to do the same thing. Yeah,
right on.
Exactly.
Right on. Authenticity. Okay. So on that note, much love. Thank you.
Love you guys.
We got a lot of chatting to do, I guess, all of us, Looks like we're all working together now. Start a company. All right. Cheers.
All right, guys. Love y'all, man. We'll see y'all
later. Love you guys too. Absolutely.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Peace. Bye.